I got inspired to do this because I didn't want to forget. So last night something happened. So he is literally telling me the same exact thing as the other person. But I literally said, you know what? And this isn't verbatim, this is just like, this was very long because this wasn't even the main story time. It wasn't even that interesting. It was more of me like ranting. But yeah, that happened. And I wasn't gonna tell that story because I was like, it's really not that interesting and it's really small, even though I seem to elongate everything in my life. But then I got inspired and was like, oh wait, I have another Apple story time of really, really, really inconvenient coincidences. So let's get into that. This next story is, last Christmas, I got these Beats headphones. This was the time around where I was getting a lot of like fake stuff on the internet or trying to go the route of like saving money because I had just gotten a new job. I was trying to buy Christmas presents for everyone and I was like, okay, let me try to save money. So basically, I go on this website. I don't remember the name of the website. I wish I could blast them, but they don't deserve the clout either, even though I don't have it. Order these Beats. They're gold Beats, matte gold Beats. But it was supposed to be gold, like a freaking like antique gold kind of color. So I order them. It takes a while to come in, and it finally gets in. And when it gets in, I'm just curious. Because when I ordered them, they were about like $200 and something. Regular Beats I think were like $300. So I saved a good amount of money. Maybe even not. They could have even been like $100 or something. Just for kicks and giggles. I look online and I'm looking up how to spot fake Beats. Now, I would show you the Beats, but I don't have them anymore, like currently with me. So I can't like show you, but if I can, I'll look up pictures and like insert them. So basically, it was telling me online that like the serial numbers are gonna look different on the fake ones. The actual like material, the ear parts, like the part that goes in your ear, and like the top of like the thing where it says Beats is gonna be a little crooked or whatever. So I look at all of these reviews and they're literally all saying the same thing. And I'm getting infuriated because this company had sold me these as real Beats. So I blow up their freaking customer service line and I'm trying to get them to work with me and they're not working with me. They're not giving me my money back. They're asking me to return the item. And honestly, like, I don't care what company you are. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I literally don't drink soda. I literally don't. I'm literally disgusting! They just won't give me my money back unless they return the item, and I understand that you should return the item, but honestly, all they're probably freaking gonna do, unless they actually resell it, is throw it out, 1. 2, I have to pay for the shipping label. I have to pay for like all that stuff because at this time I didn't have a printer. So I had to go somewhere to print the label, which costs money at not some places, all places will charge you to print like paper if you want to print. And then at that time I also had my Mac, which my MacBook doesn't have a USB, and I didn't have my connector for it yet. So I couldn't like transfer the file via USB, via whatever, USB to like bring it somewhere to like plug it in their computer. So like it was just a whole mess of gas money, shipping boxes, because I didn't have that either, shipping labels, like all this stuff that I feel like as a consumer did not have to deal with because I was given the wrong product, I was given false information, and I was just lied to, period. So I was arguing with them, and so I went to my bank, and I will never do this again because my bank, I don't have any problems with them, except whenever I file a dispute, it always gets declined, and then like months later, they will take the money out of my account. So like that gives you an sight of like what's gonna happen like in this story time, because basically that's what happened. And now just for the record, I take full responsibility for buying like really sketchy on a website kind of Beats kind of thing, but to be honest, it wasn't really a sketchy website. There were reviews online about the website, so I wasn't that worried about it, but I was also like very upset to be lied to. That's like the main thing that really got to me, because like this company has really good reviews online, so I don't understand why they would try to damage their company. I don't know, it's just a whole thing. I filed a dispute with my bank, and that's going on, and they're, whatever. And so the bank gets back with the dispute, and they're like, hey, we cannot, like, give you this money back unless you find viable proof of the retailer telling you they're fake. I'm like, how the frick do you expect me to get this retailer who already won't even work with me on on the freaking return to say that they're fake because, mind you, the retailer kept saying that they were real. And I had the emails, I deleted them because there's no point in having them now, because like it's all over now. But I kept them for like 6 months, I want to say, the email, just in case something happened. They literally were like, they're fake. I mean, they're real, whatever. At this point, I'm like, I live an hour away from the Apple store. And I say that because I'm like, the retailer's not gonna tell me they're fake. What do I do? And they're like, well, you can get the manufacturer to send you something. And I'm like, manufacturer's Apple, I live an hour away, this is very annoying. And like, well, you can go to an Apple approved store, which is also an hour away from me. And I didn't want to go to an Apple approved store that isn't an Apple store or a Best Buy, because the only Apple approved store around me is like this really like weird, like sketchy kind of store. Like, I don't know, I don't trust it. And a lot of times I heard that they can't do everything that Apple can. So I was like, you know what? Day trip, I'm going to the Apple store. So I go to the Apple store, but before that, I pass Best Buy, and I'm like, I know Best Buy is Apple verified, and I know it's a really good trusted source because it is Best Buy, so I go there first. And I'm talking to them, and this lady, I tell you, she was so rude, so rude. And I guess it's because, like, when people tell you how to do your job kind of thing, or like you're wrong and they're not working in your position, which I wasn't telling her how to do her job, but I was very adamant that these were fake because there were so many freaking clocks on this item. It's like, listen, like, I'm not telling you like how to do your job, like I don't work in your position, but like I don't know what you want me to say, like these are fake, like I don't know. And because the way she looked it up is when I brought it in, she looked it up on her computer, she's like, the serial numbers match an item that we actually sell. But the item that it matched to was rose gold beads. So either way, I was sold the wrong beads, period. She was like, the only problem with this is that they're rose gold, they're not the matte gold, or whatever the frick the name of that one gold is. And I'm like, no, but like, don't you see this? And then also, another ding on it is that, you know how like on AirPods now, like once you open it, it like shows up on your screen and it says like, your name AirPods or whatever. Beats are supposed to do that too. Like the Series 3 Beats are supposed to do that. And the Beats that I had were supposed to be Series 3 and they were not doing that. You had to like specifically click on them and it was just like this whole mess and it wouldn't give it my name, like it just said Beats. So I knew these were fake. I knew they were fake. And they also made a different sound when connecting to the Bluetooth thing. And so basically she's like, yeah, no, I can't help you. You can go to the Apple store, it's down the street, I'm sorry. And so that happened. So I leave and I go to the Apple store. It's the only Apple store within an hour from like basically anywhere. So a lot of people are there and I think it was a Saturday. No, it was a weekday. I walk in with my friend and she's like, whatever. And I walk in and I talk to this lady. I'm like, hey, like I need help. I think I have fake beats. And basically she does the same freaking thing that the Best Buy lady did. So I don't know why the Best Buy lady sent me to Apple when she knew they were gonna do the same thing. She probably was annoyed at me, but like I wasn't even complaining. I wasn't like throwing a tantrum like I am now. Like I was literally so calm when I was talking to people. Literally, I love saying that word. Obviously, you can tell. And obviously. Okay, now I'm sweating. So I tell this lady this whole story, and she says the same thing. And I point out all the clocks and everything, and she's like, well, it seems it was manufactured here and sold here, like in a different country, so maybe that's the way it's built. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but it's Apple, it's like worldwide, so like, why would they change their product? And she was just not making any sense, and she was getting very annoyed and aggravated, I could tell, and she just blatantly said, no, they're real. And she would not, like, write the letter for me, not work with me. Mind you, before this, I also had called Apple and was, like, talking to them on the phone because it was late the night before when I had planned to go out. And I was like, hey, like, is this store gonna write a letter for me? And they're like, I can't call that store right now because they're closed, but let me call someone in California and see if, like, the company does that as a whole because they were someone that didn't, like, work on the sales floor. And so they did that and they said it would be fine. But when I called the store the next day, they said they don't do it. But I went anyway. Maybe that's why they actually didn't do it, because they couldn't, but when I called the freaking Apple ID person, and I even told them that on the phone, they were just like, oh, I don't know, I'm sorry, kind of thing. And that was very annoying, because it's like a really far drive from me, and like, I needed that money. So, they don't write the letter for me to prove that they are fake, when they clearly are fake. I've shown you the proof, if I have, and if I haven't, I'm sorry, because that would be very helpful in this story. And like, this is another case of the employees just not knowing what they're doing. Obviously, like, Apple just wants their company to be very, like, strict and, like, very clean slated kind of thing. It's obvious, like, they're not prepared for, like, if a glitch happens or, like, if something, like, wrong happens, they're not prepared for that. And if they are, like, honey, get it together. Because Like, these are literally 2 instances, and yes, like, one of them was my fault, like the Beats thing, I shouldn't have bought them online, like, yeah, whatever. But, like, you should have your employees prepared for stuff when, like, you know other companies are gonna, like, make fake things. And I guess they probably have a policy that's like, that's why you always buy from, like, Apple or whatever. I think that's what they, and, like, it makes sense, but, like, I wish companies, and I know they're, like, money hungry, but would just realize, like, not everybody has the freaking money to, like, spend $300 on headphones. And, like, that just really sucks that, like, companies don't prepare their employees for things like that. And if you are an employee out there, I know where I work, like, if I have a customer that, like, seems really genuine and is, like, pulling out the facts, I will genuinely come to a human level and not freaking corporate-minded freaking level, and I'll explain to them, like, oh yeah, like, I understand where you're coming from. Even if I can't help them, I'll be like, that makes sense. Like, yeah, that really makes sense. Because when I make them look stupid and them look angry, it makes them upset, and, like, I know how that feels, and I don't want them to be sad. Like, that really messed up to do. And the people that were talking to me made me feel like I was just crazy, and I had literally all the freaking punchlines. Like, I literally showed you guys. So, yeah, that was my story time about my problems with Apple. And, like, I love Apple so much. Like, in the future, this might hurt my, like, chances of, like, working with them because, you know, whatever. But, honestly, like, I love Apple still. I have, like, my watch, my MacBook, my iMac, my iPhone, my iPad, like, literally every single Apple product out there. And I don't hate you guys. I love you guys. Love that. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. You should subscribe, like, right now, because once I get to 100, I get my own URL, and that way I can share it out there. You guys can share it out there really easily. You don't need to just share individual photos. I mean, freaking videos. So yeah, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want more story times, leave some comments below. I can elaborate on stories for a very long time. Like I said, I have some, like, story times, like, ready for, like, the future, like when I graduate high school, because they're about people in high school, and, like, I don't want to be canceled again because I was already canceled once in high school, and I have a story time for that too because it's freaking triggering. But we'll get into that in the future. Just make sure you guys subscribe so you'll be here when they come out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, keep your heads up high, and I will definitely be seeing you guys next time.
What? No, I am gonna leave.